reporting there. Here now, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan from Ohio, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman Jordan, good to have you with us today.
Good to be with you, Martha.
So I thought, watching that hearing, that you touched on one of the most important elements, which was where was the evidence that there was a dangerous uptick or any real threat to these school board members? Because obviously, if there is, that's illegal, and that would have to be dealt with by local law enforcement. But now you've got even the National School Board Association saying, oh, actually, we didn't really identify any dangerous uptick. And you nailed down that that was what Merrick Garland was basing his, calling the FBI in on these folks.
The only basis for the memo, the very first sentence in the memo is that uptick in violence, uptick in threats. The only basis for that was, in fact, the letter that the School Board Association sent to the President of the United States. And 5 days later, the Justice Department does just that, gets the FBI involved in local school board matters. So, yeah, I think there was coordination from this from the get-go. I think they talked, the School Board Association talked with the White House and probably the Justice Department as well. I think all that took place. But here's the kicker. 24 hours after that hearing, the School Board Association apologizes. That never happens. I mean, in fact, this apology just wasn't a normal apology. They apologized twice in the same paragraph. We regret the letter and apologize for the letter. Later on that same paragraph, we regret the stress this has caused you, the strain this has put you under. So this just doesn't happen. That's how bad this was, the number of people who are leaving this organization, and how wrong it was to reference parents who were simply standing up and saying, we don't want this racist, anti-American curriculum taught to our kids, to then equate them to domestic terrorism. That's how wrong this was, and they saw it. That's why they apologized.
Well, I think there's no doubt that they're getting the political backlash of what parents are feeling about this across the country, and that may have sent a message here as well. And one of those parents was on last night with Laura Ingraham. His story is awful. His daughter was sexually assaulted by a trans individual in the bathroom at their school, and when he went in to complain about it to the school board at the meeting, they were told that it never happened, and suggested that she was lying or he was lying. A judge has just determined that this young person is indeed guilty of this assault, so he's been vindicated. His daughter's been vindicated. We have a picture of him being arrested and put in handcuffs. So he was used as a, here's a data point. Here's one of these parents that is so disruptive that he needs to be arrested. Your thoughts on all that?
Well, no, it's a tragic situation. The fact that the Attorney General of the United States didn't know about this. I mean, after all, this did happen in Loudoun County. This has been ground zero for this whole debate about critical race theory, this whole situation where moms and dads are speaking up about what's happening to their kids at in their school district. And for him not to know about that, but worse yet, that was one of the reference points, as you point out, in the original letter. That was the basis for the Attorney General issuing his memorandum, which gets the FBI involved, and not just anyone at the FBI. The press release that accompanied the memorandum from the Attorney General, that press release talks about the National Security Division at the FBI. That's the division that deals with domestic threats, domestic terrorist threats. So this is as frightening as it gets. But as I said in the hearing, Martha, I think this is actually the last straw. This is a catalyst for a reawakening in America towards freedom, and people are going to push back because of this ridiculous memorandum.
So I want to get in two more quick questions with you if I can. So you asked Merrick Garland, are you aware of our letter? He said, no, I didn't see any letter. Now, what about this letter where you're now asking, since the School Board Association has pulled back on this language, are you also going to do the same thing?
Yeah.
What do you hear back from the Department of Justice on that?
We just sent the letter yesterday. Every single Republican on the Judiciary Committee signed it. Leader McCarthy is for it. I would bet every Republican and probably every mom and dad around this country supports it. We simply asked the Attorney General, resend your memo. I mean, in his memo, he said within 30 days, so from October 4th when he sent it through November 3rd, within 30 days, in every single United States Attorney's District, all 94 of them, they're supposed to convene a meeting where they're putting together this task force to deal with this stuff, this domestic terror, so-called domestic terrorism threat. What is happening there? You should stop this in its tracks today. Let's hope he doesn't.
All right, we will be watching that. On a different topic, very quickly, we've all been watching the Durham investigation, which is getting a little bit more interesting in the past month or so. Today, word that they also want to speak to James Baker, the attorney, the White House attorney, on this. So tell me a little bit about what the significance is that Michael Sussman, who apparently spoke to the FBI General Counsel, I should say, about whether or not this, server, this Trump server, he said, oh, it's connected to a Russian bank, and I'm just a completely, free citizen. I'm not affiliated with anybody. I just think the FBI ought to know about this. That turned out to not be the case because he was linked to the Clinton campaign. So what's the significance about Baker here?
Well, just remember the key facts. The dossier was the Clinton campaign paying Perkins Coie, who hired Fusion, who hired Christopher Steele to create this fake dossier. Michael Zussman said, I'm going to forget all the middleman. He just worked for Perkins Coie. He forgot all the middle. He went straight to the FBI and handed false information to the FBI. And who was that person? Jim Baker. Not just anyone at the FBI, but the chief counsel. So, of course, it makes logical sense that Durham would want to talk to the guy who received the information from Zussman when Zussman was lying to him and giving him false information. So I think that's entirely appropriate. I think that's exactly what should happen. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I think this is a pretty important step that the Durham investigation is taking.
All right. We'll be watching, as I know you will. Congressman Jordan, thank you. Good to see you today.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.